Well, hello, everybody. We welcome you to this edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling, and I'm glad to be with you today on the program. And we're going to have another action-packed show for you today. In our first segment, we're having the opportunity to talk with a lady who has a wonderful program called Sisters Returning Home. She and I actually have known each other probably the last 20 years or more, and we just lost contact recently, but it is so good to be reconnected because of who? This university, LaSalle University. So thank God for the students of LaSalle who discovered Miss Peggy Sims, and that gave me an opportunity to be reconnected to her. We'll be back in a moment to shine the spotlight on Miss Peggy, and we've got other great guests coming your way as well. Stay with us. Well, hello, everybody, and now we will get that program swinging that we were talking about in our first segment. We're going to hear from a lady who has a vision for other women who are coming out of incarceration and need some support along the way. Peggy Sims, we'll talk to her in just a moment. And we're also going to shine the spotlight on a local photographer extraordinaire, and we're going to talk with a health nutrition expert, Reverend Michael Sloan. So we got a lot to do in this edition of News You Can Use. Let's get started. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
It's so good to see you.
Thera.
I am excited to have you with us today, and this interview is long overdue. You do such great work. But now, the last time you and I had really connected, you were still operating a transportation program that would get families to have an opportunity to go see their loved ones who were incarcerated hours and hours away from Philadelphia. And I know you lifted up a lot of parents through that program that you ran. But now today, you're doing something I think is even better. You've got a place where women can come and ask for referrals, and it is a place that women are mandated to come to, but a woman who may just be struggling and may have been out of incarceration for a couple of years or more, but just needs a little guidance or point me in the right direction, they can call you too?
Yes, they can. Thera.
Okay. Tell us about what Peggy's been doing.
Well, we started this program helping women that's coming home back into the community from prison. It started November 2009, and the program started with just 3 women in it. And the program started because a lot of times the resources are out there for men, but not out there for women. So we started in partnership with the Department of Corrections. They wanted to shine the light on the women coming back into the community and being able to assist them when they get back home. So I started off, it's a faith-based program in Canaan Baptist Church. And the program runs through the weekdays. We meet the ladies as they come there, and we try to assist them with whatever resources they have. My staff and I try to assist them and talk with the women on a one-to-one basis so that we can be able to help each and every lady that comes back and get them back acclimated into the community, back with their families, reunification with the families sometimes, and the ones that have no families, to also be there for them too.
Now, I have been doing this thing where I was teaching life skills and job readiness for the last 13 and a half years in the heart of North Philadelphia, as you know, right there at 17th and Cambria Street. But you've been doing this work for how many years?
Close to 20 years I've been doing this.
Right,
With the families, I've done it with the men. I've helped the men, women, families, because they all need that assistance when when you've been incarcerated and coming back home. You need that second opportunity, that second chance, and that's what we try to do for our ladies.
I remember when now former state senator Shirley Kitchen first suggested to me that I come and teach a life skills class at this women's prison at 17th and Cambria. And I looked there and I said, huh, me? I'm a free spirit, Senator. I have to be inside the building where they're locked up? She said, oh, yes. And I said, well, I'm not the lockup type, so I pass on that. And I had to say it carefully because you know how Senator Kitchen was. You don't want to get her mad, right? So I carefully said, Senator, I don't think I can do that. I thought that was the end of it. A few days later, she called me back, Thera, we need you. I know you're the right one for the job. And I said, well, but I've never worked with anybody in prison before. I don't think I can. She says, no, I know you're the right one for the job. You can do this. And so I came in with a little question in my heart. But from the first day until a short while ago when I found out that the program that we were working from was closing, I came with passion and vigor and commitment and love in my heart and a willingness to look at these women who are incarcerated and say, you know what, they're but for the grace of God. could have been me.
That is
Could have
correct.
been someone else that I know or whatever. And so I want to help these ladies. And it was a passion of mine, and I love doing it. I would show up on Christmas Day, July 4th, Labor Day, Memorial Day, it didn't matter to me. Holidays, I would still be there with our sisters. If that holiday fell on a Monday, my day to teach that class, I was there. And we loved it. So you're doing tremendous things where you're located. Because it is a state mandated program, I guess it's not really necessary that we give the address right now, but what kind of help do the women get who come to your program?
Well, once the women come there and we try to figure out some of the things that they need, most of the time what they're looking for is they need employment. So we have someone to help them with employment, housing opportunity. They might need to get back to their children, get back into their family life. The family support is so important there. So what we try to do is once we find out what the ladies need, we also, we have community partners such as LaSalle students that come there and other universities.
LaSalle
to help
students
us.
come into
They
your
come there
building.
and help the ladies out. And try to help them with their resume writing. Any particular thing that woman actually needs, they really, really have been a source of partners. We have many partners in the community, but they have really been there and helped us out with the things that we need. They also have a food program whereby not only do they help the ladies, they also feed the families, and they're going to be giving out food for this food drive that they have to help the community. That help the community as well as the families and the ladies.
So you mentioned before we started taping that there's going to be a special program here on the campus of LaSalle University that's tied into Sisters Returning Home and something you're doing?
Yes. On April 29th here at LaSalle, we will be doing a women's panel program. It's going to be very exciting for the women because a lot of times people don't really, the women don't get a chance and opportunities to express their barriers, some of the resources and barriers that they need. But we've reached out to some experts and had them, coming up at that particular day, and they're going to speak to the women, and we're going to partner together, and you'll hear the women's stories of what some of the challenges and things that they have faced. And with that panel, we're looking for other ways and opportunities to help these women and their families. So it's an exciting time for us.
Yeah, so now if people want to register to be a part, or maybe they want to come out and volunteer and just roll up their sleeves and help that day, how can they be in touch?
Well, we have a website. First of all, we have a website, www.sistersreturninghome.org. They can take a look at our website and see some of the things that we're doing. Some of the volunteer work, they can even get involved in themselves. We need mentors. We need all types of people that can come in there and help these women, give them a second chance and opportunity, and just partner with them on some of the things that they need to do. A lot of times these women have been away for a long time, so they need to get, things are so new to them in the neighborhood, and they need that. We have a hotline that the women can reach us on.
Some of the women that I've encountered and that I worked with, they were afraid of a cell phone. Because the women who've been away for 20, 25 years, they don't know about these cell phones and iPhone and this, that, and the other. And so they're almost like children. And you're showing them and you're supporting them and giving them love, but showing them how to work these devices that we have nowadays.
Well, we have to, because a lot of times, when you want to go out for employment and all, they have to have that cell phone. So what happens is anything we don't understand and know how to do, LaSalle students, they're very technical. So they show them how to use it, what to do, how to put their resumes on there and other important opportunities and things that they need to do. Or just to keep that communication line open with the family. A lot of them, especially with the children, you see their faces light up when they're talking to the children at times, and it keeps that communication open and that line that we need.
So now back to Canaan Baptist Church. Canaan is right around the corner from where I live. So Canaan's on Pulaski Avenue, right off of Schoolhouse Lane. So if there's women right now viewing our program and they've been incarcerated, they're home there, they're thankful to be home. They're not mandated to be in a program somewhere anymore, but they need help too. They need somebody to show them, well, where's the employers that'll give a second chance, or where can I go to sign up for a GED class that I can afford or that's free, that kind of stuff. They can come to your program at Canaan and start there?
Well, they can come to our program, Sisters Returning Home. It's parole stipulated, but we do not turn any women away. If we have to, what we do is look for other resources, and we have a referral system that we can partner with someone else in the community and help them get whatever resources and whatever they need. So we do not turn any women away. We have a great staff there. My operation manager is Anita Williams. She works 24 hours a day almost with these women. I mean, at home, like you said, she never gets a day off and all. And she makes sure that their lessons are well planned for them, and even housing. A lot of times they don't even know how to get back in. How do I start looking for an apartment? Where am I get the money from? We have people there that's able to help them. We received an award this year from the Mennonite Church on Washington Lane for the work we're doing. This is ordinary work that people just need coming back and don't know where to go to. But the women, they need resources. They're going to prison at an alarming rate right now, more so with this opioid and this heroin addictions out here. Most of our ladies, that's what it starts out.
So then the stats haven't changed that much. For the 13 years I've been in this thing, teaching life skills and job readiness, what I was told with the prison that I worked out of, which was really a work release program, they didn't like us to call it a prison, but a prison is a prison. A lockdown is a lockdown, okay? But they would say to us all the time that the majority of the women who were incarcerated there were, it was drug-related, a drug-related offense of some kind.
Most of the women there, this is a nonviolent program, first of all, and most of the women there, the only thing that's happened in their life is they started on drugs, prescription drugs, or they got around with the wrong friends, hung around with the wrong friends, and then they end up getting strung out on these drugs and things like that. But most of them, like I said, too, we have one that's getting ready to graduate from college. We have the other ones that's getting ready to go back, you know, and 15 of our ladies right now are employed. We partner with ShopRite. We partner with Fresh Grocer. That's right.
I love him.
Anyone in the neighborhood, Boston Market, anyone that will hire our ladies that we partner with, and they have hired these women back. We also mentor on a wraparound service. When they get jobs, we want to make sure that they stay on the correct path. So most of the time, that's where our mentors step in and start to help them
This is good. This is good. Give us a phone number where people can be in touch, or the website again if you don't want to put the phone number out.
Website is www.sistersreturningHome.org.
All right, Peggy, I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you so much, and we can't wait to have you again.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yes, ma'am.
And we will catch up.
Remember that name, Sisters Returning Home. This is News You Can Use, and we are so delighted to have you join us. We're coming back in a moment. We're going to talk with Reverend Michael Sloan. He is a nutrition health expert. Stay with us.
Three, two, one, action. You may think a guy would be producing this, but I can too. Anyone can find a cure.
Women are being downgraded for their physical ability, but you can be just as strong.
%20 of women are engineers, but it doesn't stop there.
I'm a tech girl. I'm a tech girl.
I am a tech girl.
I am a tech girl.
OMG, join LaSalle TV, it's the place to be. What we got is what you need. Come and follow me on a trip through the campus with my squad at the Union and the Union. See my man's Todd at the quad on the hammocks like a savage. He be on the camera like 1, 2, 3, action. Makes it sounds back to back, and that's a fact. D1 Sports we never lack. Calm center, almost there, north to south. Man, that walk is never fed. Passing battles straight to Newman. See some kids and tell them join the crew. As we enter the studio with the new recruits. LaSalle TV, enjoy it near you.
Hello, everybody. We are back as we keep going forward with this edition of News You Can Use. I'm talking about fast-paced show. Yeah, we can do it. We're glad to be here at LaSalle TV, and I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling. In this segment, we are shining the spotlight on Reverend Michael Sloan. I thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you so very much. I first encountered your name, I want to say about 3 years ago, with a State Senator Shirley Kitchen event, her annual Senior Expo. And it was down at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, in fact. And I thank you, Kentia Waters, for connecting me with Reverend Sloan today. You're an expert in nutrition, and you've been doing this about 17 years?
17 years. I started out working with pharmaceutical companies, and I had a physician organization. And actually, I remember you from AmeriChoice. I used to work with them for managed care.
Small world.
Yes, so that's how we really go back, all the way back when
Dr. Walter Lomax was still living, and all of that, and HMA health plan that turned into AmeriChoice.
Correct. When they were on Parkside Avenue.
Yes.
I go back all the way back then. I worked with them for quite some time.
So health is not new to you.
Correct. Right.
So when did this piece on nutrition really bite you?
Actually, the doctors sort of much paved the way. We used to do all these different types of health screenings, and they were different biomarkers from body composition to bone density screenings. Some kind of way I steered away from it. Decided to become a minister, walked away from corporate America, decided to come back, began to work with a lot of churches, and decided that's not exactly where I wanted to be at, and I wanted to be more so in the community. And so we began to educate people on how to heal themselves naturally. God said, I created your trees, your plants, and your seeds for food nourishment. And that kind of stuff we throw away. One thing about the pharmaceutical companies, they never lied and said that the pill was better than the plant. But we steer away from stuff like that. So what I try to do is instill hope and give people a wherewithal to take responsibility for their health. And again, you are what you eat. You perish for a lack of knowledge. You can lead people to water.
But you can't make them drink. And for a long time, people couldn't make me drink water. But boy, did I find out when I started drinking water how my quality of life went up.
So one of the things that we tell people, like the stem of the strawberry has almost 50% of the nutrition. 78% of the nutrition in the apple is in the core of the pineapple, the pith of the orange. All of these things you throw away. And we incorporate it into either smoothies, soups, so forth. And we do it right in front of the people.
The core of an apple?
Yes. And we make soups. And we do it from our blender. And that soup will
I
speed
know
up.
you're coming back with a demonstration. You bring that blender next time.
Our soup will actually burn belly fat. And if you do that almost on a
Now you go get the
basis,
blender now.
So we show people how to speed up their metabolism, and we show them how to heal themselves. Because at the end of the day, your body doesn't really require drugs. It requires nutrition. Our society, we are the most overprescribed country in the world. But really, the body needs nutrition. So what I try to get people, especially older people, at the age of 53, I'm about to turn 53, at the age of 50, I found myself stronger than when I was in my 20s and 30s, and I was a weightlifter then. But I went through this renaissance of my getting stronger. What I try to show people, just through nature, in nature, animals and dogs that lives in nature outside of us, they do not get hypertension, diabetes, any of these diseases. But when they live with us, they get them. And you know, some of our diseases do not exist in other countries. So that means that, you know, if by food you can make yourself sick, is it plausible through food you can make yourself whole? Then the other aspect are your spices. Turmeric will take the place of 20 popular medications. A lot of people don't know even your memory is affected by sugar. But the most damning thing with us as we age, and if you look at nature, animals as they get older, they don't become weaker. As humans, we become weaker, and the society tells us that it's okay to become weaker. No, it's not okay. You see, when you begin to lose your muscle mass, you lose your health. That's why when astronauts go up in space, they come back very sick because they're losing their muscle mass. And typically sickness is going to attack either the young or the old. It's because they're losing muscle mass and they lack nutrition. So we try to get people to understand, if you get your muscle mass up, and the only way you're going to do that is if you have the energy. And the only way that's going to happen is if you have the right nutrition. But more importantly, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think you're supposed to be weak, sick, old, just take medicine, that's exactly what's going to happen to you. So what we try to show people is that, again, take responsibility and hold yourself accountable. No one should know your body better than yourself. So at the end of the day, Jesus said, take up your bed and walk. So no matter how much faith you have, there's an action that has to correspond. So
faith without actions are dead.
Faith without
works are dead.
So what we try to show is that you, again, you have to be accountable for yourself and responsible. At the end of the day, you're going to be held accountable through every ache, pain, and pill that you take. You're being held accountable. So you might as well, be responsible for yourself. So.
Very interesting. I'm the kind of person that if I'm even starting to feel like a cold is coming, I usually feel it right in there. And I'm on the orange juice and the lemon and the honey like immediately. Not the pills, not the over-the-counter drugs.
Now watch this. A lot of people don't know this about me. I don't wear a coat. I don't care if it's 13 degrees outside. If anyone notices a person, he's a crazy guy outside. 13 degrees outside. I'm out there for 3 hours shoveling snow in a t-shirt. But here's an old remedy for cold. If you ask any chef who worked in a kitchen around onions, you heard that old wives tale, put an onion inside.
Oh yes, we do it.
Ask any chef that worked around onions, have you ever caught a cold working around onions? And they will say no. Unbeknownst to them, they don't even realize they're impervious to a cold. Onions will actually, it's been proven scientifically, onions will pull in bad bacteria as long as it's sliced. That's why you shouldn't eat an onion if it's sliced and if it's not wrapped up, because it's pulling in bad bacteria. For thousands of years, we've had doctors, right? And what did they use to treat, heal, and cure people with? Seeds, stems, herbs.
This is just a teaser tip of what we have to hear from Reverend Sloan, and I am so sorry I don't have more time for you today, that's all right, because you whet my appetite with this. How can people be in touch? Because I know you do demonstrations all over town at rec centers and everywhere.
Correct. We have a 2-month waiting list.
Good.
We can be reached at divinesources.org, or I don't want to really I'll put out my number, 267-210-1807. We work with a few organizations that sponsor us all over. So everything we do is free. It's pro bono.
Amazing. God, you are a blessing to our community. Thank you for sharing with us. We need more time, but we appreciate you coming today. Reverend Michael Sloan, and he is a nutrition expert. Check him out for sure. Thank you for being with us. We're going to keep it moving. One more segment to go, and we're going to be taking a look at D'mont Reese. He is a photographer extraordinaire. We look forward to meeting him next.
This is Kevin, and Kevin could use some kindness. Here's Ian. He could be that man. Ian chooses to be inconsiderate and not hold the door for Kevin, and in turn, Kevin suffers. Kindness may be a choice, but doing so is always the right one. So if Ian can make the right choice, you can too.
Well, hello everybody, and this is our final segment on today's edition of News You Can Use, and I am so delighted to be able to present to some and to introduce the other, Mr. D'mont Reese, and we thank you for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me, yes.
The photographer, one of the people who has taken pictures of our most recent past president, my shining star, Barack Obama.
Yes, that was a pleasure. Many years of photographing and finally get the opportunity, and the fact that he was African American definitely was.
How did that come? Tell that story, please.
Well, actually, it's a matter of friendship. I have some friends that were in the business. They work for the DNC. She was actually promoted to that position. She said, we need some photographs taken of Barack. She was an actress. She came to me for some work and just connections, and as Barack would always say, it's about relationships.
Yes, absolutely. So where did you shoot? Was it at the White House? Was it on the White House lawn?
Actually, it was here in Philadelphia. I had the opportunity to photograph Barack. I've had the opportunity to photograph President Bush. I also had the opportunity in 2000 to go out to Rome to photograph for the Archdiocese, the Catherine Drexel inauguration.
Yes.
As well as the last Pope that was here in Philadelphia. I was one of the official photographers. I was given a police escort. That was quite an experience.
Quite, I am sure. That was a day that I will never forget. I was downtown Philadelphia when our Pope was in town, and I'm still absolutely in love with our Pope. I think he is an amazing individual. It's so funny, they just did coverage on him in the last 24 hours, and he was somewhere, and he had to go to the bathroom, and the news like covered it all over the world. Like, the Pope had to go to the bathroom. He's human. Yeah, he is. And we're so glad that you had that opportunity to be one of the photographers who shot him as well.
Yes.
So this career in photography, was this something that came to you when you were a kid, a teenager, college years? When did you know that's the field for me?
It's actually, we all know that sometimes one person can change your career. I went to a seminar in high school. It was a yearbook seminar, and the gentleman said, you can be a photographer. I said, really, if you go to school for this? So I looked into it. I was, I think it was 11th grade.
So they saw some of your work?
No, they didn't. It was just a seminar.
Okay.
It was a seminar for yearbook photography, and we just asked questions, and the gentleman said, anybody here who's interested can go to school for photography. I was interested, 11th grade, and that one guy changed my whole career. I went to school for it, Antonelli Institute, for 2 years. Was graduated in '86. I worked for a number of different companies. Carwell Studios, which was a company that had about 100 contracts of all the universities around the country. So I got to work for them, travel, learn on their experience, photographing everything from mud wrestling, basketball, football, sports, fine-tuning my career and fine-tuning all different types of events. In 1991, I went on my own and just worked. My goal was to get into fashion, so I eventually got into fashion, sports, PR, and now I was downtown for 21 years. I was really blessed, and now I have a nice high-end studio out in Fort Washington. It's 2,000 square feet, my own parking lot. It's very easy to find. It's right next to the Hilton Hotel, but it's called my dream studio. And again, we are a full-service photographic studio. We do fashion, sports, PR, weddings, photo booths, video. So if anybody needs any of those types of services, we do it. We've done over 800 events in the last 10 years.
Now, there have been those who have said to me, I say in the last 10 years or so, Thera, the photography and the videography world, they're dying. You know, you should get out of that business because everybody's got their own video camera on their phone, their own camera in their phone. They don't need professionals anymore. And I beg to differ every time because there is such a big difference between my mom taking a picture of me somewhere or a real professional.
Well, I think it goes back to sometimes you get what you pay for, and also too, are you willing to take a chance of putting your wedding in the hands of Uncle Joe as opposed to a professional?
Who gets drunk before the wedding is over and misses half the pictures.
or someone who doesn't have an experience. I always say a professional is someone who knows all the things that are going to happen that can go wrong.
Yes.
So if you hire that person for your wedding, he knows what's going to happen. All the things that happen go right, happen go wrong, so therefore there's no questions or any problems in your best day of your life.
So if any of our viewers are looking for a top-notch level professional, whether that be in photography, PR, special events, videography, you are the man to call.
That is correct. You can view us at our website, which is dreesephotography.com. Also go on to Facebook, click on, like us as well. If you have any questions, feel free to call our studio at 215-540-9700.
So what I get out of everything that we just said in the time that we've had is that dreams can come true, and one person can change your life and your destination.
Well, I would say dreams are coming true. I've been very fortunate, very blessed that God has opened doors for me, but I am living in my dreams right now.
My, Lord. A lot of people can't say that. Please give your phone number again.
Yes, 215-540-9700.
All right, it was fast, but it was good, and I thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate you for coming to this edition of News You Can Use at LaSalle TV. Check us out on Verizon Channel 36, Comcast Channel 56, and don't forget, if you have a teen in your house ages 14 to 18 looking for summer work this summer of 2017 for 6 weeks minimum wage, make sure you contact the Allegheny West Foundation, 215-223-3714. Have an attitude of gratitude, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.